Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rum on a Couch video number 92. Dave here from Manchester Rum Festival, and for this episode, this is going to be a little bit different. Not in terms of we're going to go for mixers or ready to drink cocktails like we have done in the past, but this is a flavour that, to be brutally honest, I would never have thought about in a rum. You think about it for gin, and I think that's maybe where these guys have sort of aimed towards, but ultimately, this is my first time enjoying a slow gin. And that slow gin in question is Lazydog. I say slow gin, technically it's slow rum. And that's the cool thing about this. This is a brand, in my mind, that's going to get people from the gin drinking world over to rum. Because a lot of the time, we always have that impact of the whiskey drinkers, the cognac drinkers, you know, the aged spirit drinkers, having that connection to the rum world using the ex-American oak barrels, the cognac finishes, the port finishes, and so on. But what about the gin drinkers? Now, obviously, there's a lot of fruity-based gins out there. There's a lot of botanically driven rums as well. So maybe that connection's not as thin as a lot of people would expect. But I've never seen a slow rum before. I can't think of anyone else who may even have an opportunity just to mention it in conversation. But Lazydog were there at Manchester Rum Festival this year, and thank you very much for the guys for coming over. And naturally, I went over because it was the very first time I've ever experienced Lazydog, just down to the way COVID's been happening. And I could have bought a bottle, to be fair. I could have bought 3 or 4 bottles prior to Rumfest. But it's always quite nice, even at my own festival, to give something new a go. You know, I'm not under the table, just on it. I want to see what responses people are having, and I want to go off the trend of why everyone seems to be going for this purple top one. Now I know why. And I picked this bottle up myself. I'm actually quite looking forward to having this again. I'm hoping it's as good as I remember as well. It's quite a bold statement for me, but doesn't say too much on the bottle, barring the fact it's 40% ABV. This is a 50cl bottle as well, so not the full size 70 we're normally up to. But it does have a little neck tag. So let's get a bit of context. Discover British rum crafted with passion right here in the UK. Handmade from scratch in Leicestershire. They have obviously a Lazydog Silver, Lazydog Gold, which is aged in bourbon casks. Lazydog Spiced, which is aromatic and warming. So I'm trying to read the small writing on this, unfortunately. And of course, the Lazydog Sloe as well. Enriched with local sloe berries, fruity and unique. And there is a suggested sirloin there, which is intriguing me to give that a go potentially a little bit later. And of course, a little photo of Gino himself, by the look of it, has passed away. So this may explain a bit of a tip of the hat to himself. Our beloved friend, inspiration, and original Lazydog. So these guys have actually started to have a really good sort of following, being obviously a UK-based rum producer. I love the wax seal with this. I've really got to try and get this get this open now and not struggle in front of thousands of people. Am I doing this wrong? I feel like it's like a baby bell, but maybe it's not. Oh, there we go. Goes right across. I was trying to get it all the way round instead, so I'm saying that. Oh, it's a shame that you've got to take the wax off, unfortunately, but that seems to be the only way to do it. Or maybe it's just for this bottle, but ultimately, if yeah, I can open that now. Oh, again, nothing beats a cork in a bottle. So, I got my glass here. Now, just off the colour alone, there's a slow gin in the world that is my preferred favourite. It's Warner's Sloe Gin, or what was Warner Edwards back in the day, probably me back in the day. And if you, off memory now, it's 30% ABV. Rich, all natural, all natural sloe berries. But the colour itself is obviously a lot darker. Now this, I don't know if you can see too well here, but it's a lot lighter. It's definitely looks thinner as well. Now this is 40%, so it's not a liqueur in my mind. There might be a little bit of added sugar in there just to preserve that freshness of the sloe berries itself. But even looking at the old legs of the glass, there's nothing to say that it's going to be a richer, thicker mouthfeel. So, do I get sloe berries? I get sloe berries. Do I get fresh sloe berries? Definitely get some fresh sloe berries in here. There's also something else there as well. I want to say like it is like the freshly cut grass. It's got a kind of slight minerality towards it, which is good because I suppose I can smell the rum. It's maybe that's too obvious these days. I don't know, but you naturally get the sloe berries first, and that's the impactful element that the slow rum can offer. But yeah, I can smell this is a rum. In the blind tasting, this is unmistakably a rum. Let's give this a go. 40% ABV, slow rum from Lazydog. God, that's good. It's I'm a fan of sloe gin, so maybe I'm just sort of thanking the Lord a little bit, but this is actually as good as I hope. And as good as remember, there's a reason why I bought a bottle. You get the sloe berries, the light. It's not too rich, not too thick. It's not an impactful, no, we've got to have sloe berries. It's just there. And it's light enough to be able to still retain a little bit of that rumness. I don't get too much, but ultimately I still know that this is a rum. If I did a blind tasting, it's unmistakable. But it's not, a Jamaican funkiness, so it still shines through, It's not got the grassy notes of a sugarcane juice-driven rums from Martinique or Guadeloupe. It's just a really good rum base. And really good sloe berries. Not too tart. I think maybe you get a slight more of the natural sweetness coming from that. It doesn't taste fake. I've had a lot of fruit-flavoured rums lately in terms of obviously showing what we're going to do for next year's rum festival. And there's a lot of ones out there. I'm not going to start naming brands, but I'm sure one or two of you will be able to work these out that they just don't taste real. You know what I mean? Not every rum out there is made properly in my mind. There's a lot of ones that are on the trends of what spice and flavour rums are all about these days. This, luckily at 40% as ABV as well, although I'm sure it would still be very, very good if it was a little bit less. But the fact, it's using fresh sloe berries. I know it sounds easy and I don't want to start preaching a little bit, but I'm so happy that it is. Because it shines through. This is what you'd expect. A rum base with fresh sloe berries within. This is it. I really can't emphasise it anymore. But this, the signature serve, it says on the slow rum fizz. Now that would work. That would work very, very well. And I'd actually say this would work quite nice as a modifier. Adding it into, a daiquiri. Oh yes, this is a daiquiri will work very, very well. Maybe not too much lime, but yeah, oh God, yeah, that'd be good. A slow dac. But yeah, I could see a gin fizz, a slow rum fizz working quite well. See, it's gin people getting onto rum. I like this. Right, it's really good. And the good thing is, because it's 40%, not saying it's going to take me a long time to drink, but I know it's not going to congeal. I know it's not going to go off. It's going to retain that freshness. You can't ask for anything better in my mind. Excuse me. So, ladies and gents, that is Lazydog. One of 4 expressions at the moment. Definitely keep an eye out onto these guys, based out of Leicestershire, like I mentioned before. Feel free to maybe head over to their website, have a look at the rest of the range, the spice, that gold, that white as well. And if you want, pick up a bottle of a Sloe rum and really try something a little bit different. Off memory, it's not a bad price either. I'm very intrigued to give these cocktails a go, and also to see what else they may recommend. And to be brutally honest, what else I can sort of make up in my own kitchen as well. Pick up a bottle. If you've had one already, what do you think? You know, do you see that gin crowd getting on board onto rum through something like Lazydog Sloe rum? Or indeed, what do you play around with it as a signature serve? Always intrigued to see what you guys are always thinking about. And ultimately, do you know any other Sloe rum in the market that might be a good comparison to the Lazydog expression as well? But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all for the next Rum on the Couch episode, number 92, getting very, very close to that episode 100. I will see you soon.